Safe to say, today we got some crazy leaks in this video, and it's based on 100% real evidence. After this video, you'll know exactly what's going to be in the next update, so let's start off with the leaked hero Rem. This small owl hero Rem seems innocent enough until I looked further. Rem is actually an acronym, and most people actually know this, and it means Rapid Erection Movement. Screenshot here. Now this could just be a coincidence. However, there's even more evidence. Nap time is his ultimate ability that unconsensually makes you unconscious. Is this a reference to a roofie? No way that's possible, but if you take a look at Rem, you notice he's really fluffy. And then if you take the R from Rem and add it to fluffy, you get roofie. But that's just another coincidence, right? Well, Rem's next ability is tag along. The description is ride along with an ally and take a nap. But what do the developers really mean by ride? And is tag along just a reference to one night stands? Tag along and sleep together? Seems suspicious at best to me, but just because one hero can have this many underlying suggestions doesn't mean anything. But what if I told you there's way more, and I mean way more to uncover? Next up, Graves. Graves is our next leaked hero, and this leaked hero stuck out to me after finding all the disturbing information about Rem. Graves seems to be the next big one to investigate. First things first, the obvious. Graves uses someone's hands to act as her weapon to get the job done. Or in other words, she uses someone's hands for the job. Could this be a reference to a hand job? Next up, her abilities. Shambling Ghoul. Seems straightforward enough. Raise a buried ghoul that shambles forward, then exploding to death. Now nothing seems off at base value. But if we hone in on the word shambles, we get a clue. Historically, shambles were used to refer to meat markets, or slaughterhouses, but why would the developers include selling meats into the description? Could this be a reference back to the hand jobs? Probably not. But if we think deeper, how is this connected? Where else would meat be sold in the context of every other suggestion we found so far? The obvious answer would be brothels. But surely this is just banter. No way the developers were actually going to add that to the game, but even with my doubts, I investigated. Soon a problem arose. As I investigated, I found nothing. And leaks started to slow down. So is this the end? Was everything for nothing? Most would say yes, but I kept searching until this leaked. Footage of a new Guardian. A complete rework and reimagination of the current Guardians with some interesting details. If you look closely, you'll notice the Guardian has a singular bell in its head, which to me is an obvious clue linking its design to the famous Dumas brothel known for using bells to signal to its patrons. But you want to know what else has patrons? Deadlock. And you want to know what else is getting redesigned in this up-and-coming update? That's right, patrons. So recently it was leaked that patrons in Deadlock are getting overhauled. This is the Amber Hand's new design, very big and very spooky looking. Another thing to note is the name. The name Amber Hand doesn't seem off or anything, but does the use of hand in the name also reference Graves' hand jobs? Or maybe Graves' hands are a reference to Amber Hands? Who knows? I would also like to note that we've only seen leaks for the Amber Hands patron rework so far. So let's look over to Sapphire Flame. We don't have any leaks for its patron redesign, but we do have a clue. So it's under assumption that Sapphire Flame will also receive a base rework in this up-and-coming update, similar to the Amber Hand side. And we actually do have some info on what this could look like. By taking a look at the troopers, we kind of get a better idea. The first trooper, the melee trooper for Sapphire Flame, seems okay. Nothing wrong here. However, if we looked at the range trooper, we get a better idea. Now, without too much investigation, you can sort of see what's going on here. A long, pointy blue head with a typically normal shape. But I digress. With every other objective seemingly getting a rework, surely walkers are going to get some love too. And you'd be right. The current word around the block is that walkers are getting turned into a sort of like bull creature, with, you guessed it, a giant bell on the top of its head. Now with two references, things are looking much more clear. So let's move on to the next. It was also leaked that a new game mode was coming into the game, Street Brawl, an ARAM style game mode. So let's look at a RAM. Take it apart and you get a RAM. As we know, RAM prices are sky high right now. Sorry if you're trying to build PC, but that's besides the point. What does the ramming? Well, that would be the bowl, connecting the bowl's redesign of the walkers and tying it to this new game mode. And we can assume that these walkers are tied into the brothels, which would make sense because where else would the ramming be taking place at, other than a brothel? So with all this evidence, I'm predicting that the new game mode will feature a brothel. And once you're done visiting, will you need to use this new leaked item? Who knows? But the real question at the end of the day is, why would a game like Deadlock want to add adult content? Well, it's simple really. Deadlock, as we know, is owned and developed by Valve. Do you want to know what else Valve owns? That's right, the Steam Frame, an immersive VR device perfect to be used in Deadlock's new brothels. But really, that's just a side quest from the real reason. The real reason is that Valve also owns Steam. And for years, Steam was the #1 platform for PC games. However, that crown was taken around 2 years ago by an 18+ game platform named Nutaku. With over 170 million monthly users, it beats out Steam by over 50 million users. And if Steam was able to capture these 50 million users and make them all spend $10, then Gabe Newell can pay off one of his mini yachts, specifically his $500 million, 111-meter super yacht named Leviathan. So, in conclusion of everything, with all of this evidence, motive being discovered, and more, I'm very confident in my prediction, and I want to hear you guys' thoughts down below in the comments. However, this next statement might shock you, because this whole video is just a taste of all the evidence that I've actually been able to gather. Let me know if you guys want a part 2 so I can finally reveal all of the evidence. Now, if you want to know what would the contents of a part 2 video be, well, in this video we only went through 2 heroes, Rem and Graves, but there's about 6 heroes being leaked right now: Silver, Pepper, Rem, Graves, Fencer, and most importantly, the long-awaited hero Venator or Priest. And with that being said, if you think Rem and Graves were the only heroes that had interesting underlying suggestions, you'd be very mistaken. So comment part 2 for the part 2. And if you guys enjoyed the video and learned something new, and now that you finally know what's coming in the Christmas December update, go down there, leave a like, subscribe, share this video with all of your friends, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.